Hey everyone, I finished off this beautiful wood cutout with glass and resin. Watch till the end of the video to find out the mistakes I made, how beautiful it turned out, and what to do and what not to do when working with glass and resin on a wood cutout. So I purchased this SVG on Etsy to be able to print on my We Create Vista. And after you purchase it, all you do is click download and it goes into your download file. And when you want to make it, you go into your We Create and you hit import, and then you find the SVG, you click on it and hit open, and then all the different ones that you've purchased will open. I made it smaller and I got rid of the ones that I didn't want, and I centered the one that I did want on the piece of wood that you can see. So the We Create Vista has a little camera and it shows you the wood that you're working with, which makes it real easy, and there's no wood waste because you can see exactly what you're working with. So I just resized it to the size I wanted. Then after that, you have to pick the type of wood and the thickness of the wood that you're using. And with this, I was using the 3mm basswood, and so you just have to confirm it and hit confirm. And then once you've confirmed it, you go ahead and make sure you have a box around what you're going to be cutting out. You see the box around it, and you'll have a choice between line engrave, engrave, and cut, and I put cut. And when they're preset wood like that, has automatic settings, and it's at 100% power and 3% speed. And once you know it's at the right settings, you go ahead and you click start, and then the little box will come up with send, and you hit send, and it is sent to your printer. Then you just close the top and push the start button. And I do have other videos going more into detail about how to use the We Create Vista, but this is just the short version. And I want to say this probably took about 35 minutes to cut out because it is only a 10-watt laser cutter, but it's perfect for the craft room. I have it vented out the window, and it really turned out nice. There's a lot of detail in this. You just have to be careful because this 3mm isn't real. When you're doing little details like that, it's very easy to break. So then I just made sure all the little pieces were pushed out and started my project. Using some paper called Easy Liner. It's sticky back paper. It's very much like the transfer tape that Cricut sells. And someone once told me that the easiest way to get it apart is by putting a piece of tape on each side and pulling it. I just laid the paper out sticky side up after I got it apart, and I took my wood cutout and set it on the sticky side. Even though I don't show it, I did flip it over and use the brayer tool on the back of it to make sure it was adhered really well. Most of my glass that I was going to use was already colored, but some of it, like the pink, I had to take out to the garage and color. This was already a light pink, but I took the TAMIYA pink translucent spray paint and colored it the darker pink. And all this glass that I'm using here is the Ashland decorative filler from Michaels. And super easy to paint, and the TAMIYA spray paints do not fade, they do not run, you do not need to seal them. They have some beautiful translucent colors, and even after you spray this Michaels glass, you can still see the silver reflective qualities that it has, so it doesn't take that away. Even though I don't show it, I did take the wood cutout out to the garage and spray it with a gold spray paint. Honestly, like this glass better than a lot of the other glass that they sell, people sell privately or whatever, because it does have the reflective qualities. It really makes it sparkle, and it's so much less expensive. It's like 1/8 of the price of some of the glass that people are selling. So this portion of the video I have sped way up and probably have it less than a couple minutes. This really took close to an hour to do because putting these teeny tiny pieces of glass in can be very tedious. And depending on the size of your cutout, determines what size glass you're going to have to use. This particular cutout had some very tiny areas and required smaller pieces than the Ashland decorative filler. The Ashland decorative filler is quite small, but as you can see on some of those areas on the bird's wings and some of those leaves were really tiny. For those small areas, I use this Renfio, and I know I'm not pronouncing it right, glass. And the problem with this is some of the colors run. So the green I had tested before, and that does not run. The purple I did not test, I don't believe, but I think it will run, so I'm going to have to seal it. So you need to either seal the glass before you put it on or after. But the thing with the wood cutout is because the area is contained where, for example, the purple is going to be, I am going to be putting resin over the area, and it's not going to be able to leak into the other areas, so the resin will actually seal it. So for the blue and the yellow glass, I was able to use the Ashland decorative filler. And I came back after I put that on and added some more of the Ruffino glass on top of it just to give it a little mix of color so it wasn't a solid yellow or blue. I also added a piece of jewelry for the eye, and then here you can see me coming back with the smaller Ruffino glass, and I think I'm using the white actually just to add some different color to the solid areas. And I'm sorry I'm going through this so fast. Putting this glass down really took about an hour or so. And then when we move on to the resin part, that even took longer too, and I'm going to fast forward through that. So next I mix up my resin, and I only mix up a couple ounces, I think, and I have it in that little cup there with the spoon sticking out. And I just start drizzling the resin over all the areas, and you can see I have something called a pipette in my hand, and to get into those tiny areas, that's what you can use so that you're not wasting it or it's not drizzling or spilling all over the place. And again, I feel like this resin is going to seal in all the colors from the glass that I think will run. And so because I'm putting this on glass on top of more resin after this is cured up, that's when I would expect it to run if it's going to run. But if it's sealed with this resin already 24 hours ahead of time, it should not run. Let's cross our fingers. Well, here it is the next day done. Isn't that pretty? I think it turned out so pretty. But the problem is when I took this off, and I have this way and fast forward, it pulled a lot of the glass off. I think I wasn't able to put enough resin on, and because of the sticky back, it didn't work as well. So I'm going to show you another way to do it so that that doesn't happen. But at the very end, I'm going to give you some tips on cutouts to buy or what type of wood to use to prevent this from happening. So I ended up having to go back and fill in some of the areas with glass and UV resin. Can you see how some of it came out? I ended up doing was taking it back in the resin room, adding glass in the areas that it had come out or where it was too thin, took UV resin, put it over all the glass that I had added, and then took the UV light and put it over those areas. And then I continued on to do all of the green glass with the glass and then the UV resin and the light, and then I went on to do all the thin areas on the bird. And although I don't show it, I also flipped it over and put the UV light on the back. And look how pretty it turned out. I think it turned out so pretty. Look at the Ashland decorative filler. The silver reflective part really makes it sparkle. Just as an extra precaution to make sure none of the glass runs. And I'm not worried about the TAMIYA spray painted glass. I'm worried about the tiny Ruffino glass. I took some Krylon clear spray paint and sealed the front and the back of it and let it dry. Next, I prepared a frame by removing all the backing and the glass, and then I took Elmer's glue and put it around the perimeter of the back of the frame where the glass would sit. Then I replaced the glass and put Elmer's glue around the perimeter one more time. This helps to hold the glass in place, and it also helps to prevent resin leaks. It's a temporary hold until you put resin on the other side. Once the resin cures, it will permanently adhere the glass to the frame. If you're not using resin, you want to use something stronger than Elmer's glue. The next day I come back and I put painter's tape around the perimeter of the back of the frame as an extra precaution against resin leaks. Mix up my epoxy resin and pour it on the glass. It's easiest to spread it out on the glass if you don't have anything on it, if you can possibly do that. Then I added some extra glass in some areas and drizzled some resin over that. And then I took some more Ashland decorative filler. This is called gold crushed glass up at Michael's. They have it up there all the time and they call it gold crushed glass, but to me it looks like it's a silver reflective side. But anyway, I sprinkled that all the way around the perimeter and just continued to add more glass in areas and straighten the glass out. I did use the kitchen torch to get rid of the bubbles. When I finish a project, I come back every 15 minutes to check for glass placement, to check for bubbles and retorch if necessary, to check for sediment and get it out with a toothpick. It's really important that your project sits on a flat level surface, and it's in your best interest to cover your project with a dust cover when you're done. And here I'm just trying to find some beads to put in the center, and I end up putting I think 5 little yellow beads in the center to finish it off. Hey everyone, so didn't that turn out pretty? I think it is so cool. So of course you don't have to do it on glass, but I really think it's pretty like that. It can be standalone. You can put little hangers on each side of your wood cutouts and hang them. And the glass really sparkles in the sun. Of course, you're not supposed to put resin in the sun. If you have it in the house and you get some indirect sunlight through it, it certainly would look pretty. But anyway, and this could also be done. You could take your wood cutout, pour the resin first on your window pane or your glass, put the wood cutout on it, a very thin layer, let it cure, and then add the glass and resin to it like the next day. So that would have been another alternative. So I wasn't really sure when I started out exactly what I was going to do with it. So that's why I did it the way I did. But and I like all this extra glass around it. I think that's super pretty. So I wanted to show you something. So I did 4 other cutouts, and 2 of them are the 6 millimeter thickness and 2 of them are 3 millimeter thickness. And I'm going to show you what the difference is. So I think if this had been 6 millimeters, it would have been easier. It would have held more glass, and it wouldn't have been so tedious. But I'm going to show you. So these 2, this one I did on a sticky back, and these 2 I did on a sticky back also. And it's harder to peel it off of a sticky back. So here, I'm going to do it right here while you're watching. And it can pull some of the glass off, as you saw. And I'm going to push this down a little so you can see what I'm doing. And as you saw in the video, how the glass came out, some of the glass came out. And this is pulling some pieces. So part of the problem can be that the resin didn't get all the way down to the bottom also. So here you go. Oh boy. Yeah, it's really hard. When you use a sticky back, it's really hard to get it off. And not only is it hard to get it off, look at the back of it. The back of it is a matte finish. I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to take it off of this one here, which is so look at this. So this is the glued part. It's already popped off. So here you can see when I was doing them, I took 2 of them and put them on the sticky paper, which leaves the matte finish, and the other 2 I took clear Elmer's glue and just put it around the perimeter of the back of the flowers and then pressed them down onto the shiny side of the paper. Oh, and some of the glass came out of that too. I probably didn't put enough resin on it. I guess when you're doing these, it's probably in your best interest to, I should have put resin on the bottom first and then put the glass on top of it. That would have been a better thing to do. So that did come out too, but look at how easy that came out. And I'm going to show you the difference. So with a matte finish and a shiny finish. Can you see it? This really shines. And this has more of a, I'm going to pull it in closer. That has a matte finish. That has the shiny finish. So I think it's easier. Yeah, so that's what you need to do. I think it's in your best interest to put the, oh, look at me. To put the glass, put resin in first. So when you're doing this, put a little bit of resin in the bottom and the glass on top of it. That gives it a good base to grab onto. So, yeah, so that could be a problem. And these are both the thicker ones. These are the 9mm ones. Or the 6mm, I mean. And these are both the 3. This is the real sticky back again. Pulling it off. Yeah, it's hard. You're better off gluing around the edges. And some of the glass did come out. I should have put a base of resin down first. I really think that's the trick to it. Oh, and this one just fell right off. That's the other. So the glass holds in better if you don't use the sticky back. Plus, the back of it is going to be shiny instead of a matte finish. Now, because of the glass that I use, this Ashland decorative filler is so pretty. I just love the Ashland decorative filler because it sparkles. It has that silver, oh, look at my Band-Aid, silver reflective quality. And it just makes the glass sparkle. And the only reason I used blue on this was because I have an abundance of the blue glass. So that's why I used the blue. I probably should have used a different color. But look at, so this is the sticky back, has a matte finish. The just the plastic, shiny plastic that I just glued around the edges with the Clear Elmer's glue has the shiny finish. And if you're going to be seeing both sides, you probably want the shiny finish. So, okay, and then the other difference is, I'm going to show you from the side. So this is the 3mm and that's the 2mm, or the 3mm and the 6mm. So that's the difference between those. And so you're better off with the 6mm. So not all cutouts are not equal. So there's a guy on our Facebook page from Diverse Woodworking, I believe, and he does his 6mm ones. So they sell wood cutouts all over the place on Etsy. There's different companies. This guy just happens to be on our Facebook page, and I know there's several people on our Facebook page that use Diverse Woodworking. So I thought I would put that out there, and I will leave a link under the description. But anyway, I think those are cool. I love the way this turned out, and I want to show you another way to do it. So I did another one, and this one I did with glitter. So you don't have to use glass, you can use glitters. And I just layered the glitter. And this one I actually did with UV resin. And what I did was I put a layer of UV resin down first, clear UV resin, and cured it. And after I did that, I thought, oh, I should have just poured regular resin and just let it sit overnight for the first layer. And then the second layer did the UV resin, and it was so much faster. It cured, and I didn't have to worry about it leaking into other areas. And when you use UV resin, you have to be able to get to it from the front and the back. So after I had cured all of the front, I flipped it over, and I was able to cure the back also. Because it was a clear layer underneath it. So anyway, I think it's pretty with the glitter too. Don't you guys? So anyway, I have done wood cutouts before. I do have my own We Create Vista, which, believe it or not, is still only $699, which is a really good deal. I will leave a link for that below. And this is super easy to make, super fun to do. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you enjoyed the channel, go ahead and subscribe, hit the bell, and you'll be notified when I put out a new video. I try to put one out every week. And we have the Facebook page going, an amazing group over there. Come join us, and I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for watching.